Well, then when you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started in child's pose. So bring your big toes together towards the end of your mat and just let your hips sit back first and then kind of wiggle. And then when you decide it's time to take your knees out as wide as you'd like, and then extend the arms towards the top of the mat as you bow your chest down. Once you arrive here, just kind of allow yourself to move and then settle into the space. So you begin to settle into the space, draw a full breath in through your nose. As you exhale, sigh that breath out, letting it go. Just a few more rounds, inhaling through the nose, observing the breath as it enters, and then exhale, decompressing the body, still observing your breath. Another full belly breath in. And then exhale to release that breath. You can continue breathing just as you are. If you want to take the tongue, licking the lips, sealing them to each other, and then taking the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, creating that channel for your breath to flow, you can begin that victorious breath. So breathing in and out of the nose with that back portion of the throat constricted so that you can hear that oceanic sound of your breath. I want you to notice if you're breathing through the upper portion of the body. So if you're just feeling the chest and the shoulders, or if you're breathing through your diaphragm, or if you're feeling that breath through the low belly. And none of it is incorrect. It's just an observation you're making. So you observe how you're breathing. Maybe acknowledge the thoughts that enter into your mind. As you acknowledge these thoughts, if they serve your greater purpose or serve your higher needs, then go ahead and retain them. But if it's something that no longer serves your higher purpose, then allow yourself to let that dissipate. Remove it momentarily if possible. And then clear your mind of all thoughts once you're able to release. And if you're unable to clear any thoughts, just let it be what it is for the time. So you continue breathing in and out of the nose or that normal breath work. Now notice if it's long, if it's shallow. And then decide what type of breath feels best for you. And then we're all going to take one more big giant breath in through our nose. And we'll exhale, relax the abdomen down, sink the hips towards the heels a little bit more, and release your chest closer towards the mat. As you take your next breath in, gently lift your body up a couple of inches, keeping the hips towards the heels. And as you exhale, walk your palms towards that top right corner. Before you bow down, rotate the left side of your body so that you can rest this right side on that right thigh and then release your head down. Feel that curve or that opening through this left side, and then notice what's going on with your right hip. If you're able to bow down a little bit more, you might feel where you're contracting or squeezing the hip flexor, and you might even feel a little bit more rounding through the low spine. Take another full breath in here, releasing the side body or even those QLs, and then exhale, let that breath go. As you draw your next breath in, lift your head, walk your hands back towards center, and then exhale, take it over towards that top left corner, rotating the right side to the left, bowing it down when you're ready. If your hips elevate slightly, that's okay if it feels all right. But if you can gently feel yourself, send the hips towards this back left heel and then push through your right hip to open up the right side, then attempt that. Reach to the crown of the head, pull your shoulders away from your ears, draw a breath in, and then let that breath go. As you take your next breath in, press the palms into the mat, lift your head up, walk your hands back towards center, and then exhale, release and bow the chest down. Now go ahead and walk your palms towards one another, bend those elbows, and as you bend those elbows, the palms come together over your head, and then you slowly begin to release the thumb somewhere along your head, or maybe it's just hovering as you press the elbow heads or the back of your arms into your mat. Feel your shoulders relax away from the ears. Feel your chest bow down if you can. If it's really tight, you may just want to extend one arm forward and then just keep one thumb back. If you want to rotate it, just feeling what's going on as we open up the shoulders. As you release the triceps back and forth. Another full breath in wherever you're at. And then let that breath go. Go ahead and release, extending both arms towards the top of the mat, slowly taking your time as you lift and rise up. As you lift and rise up, stacking on all fours, lift your feet if you'd like off the mat in a few circles with your ankles in each direction. And then let your feet lay back down on the mat. Lift your right hand off the ground, couple of circles in each direction once more. Letting that breath go and then release that palm down. Lifting that left one, a few circles, and then place that left palm down. Tucking the toes under, we'll take 3 rounds of cat-cows. So pull your shoulders back, draw the navel up towards the spine, and then inhale, belly down, retraction of the shoulders. Inhale, the chest keeps lifting up. As you exhale, press your feet into the mat, dome your spine, tuck the chin towards the chest, let the head get heavy. Inhale for that cow pose, a soft bend of the elbows as you curl your toes under. And then exhale, dome that spine, feel it lifting up as you press the mat away. One more inhale, cow pose, retraction of the shoulders, lifting through the head and keeping those shoulders retracted. And then exhale, protractor, press the shoulder blades away from one another. And then inhale, come back to a still spine. Bring your knees close to one another, curl your left toes under, and as you inhale, extend your right leg behind you. As that right leg comes behind you, cross that right leg over towards that left side, squeezing your thighs, press the top of your left foot down on the mat and look over your left shoulder. As you look over that left shoulder, breath in and that breath out. Any movement that you want here, you might want to sway from the top of the mat to the back of the mat, or you may want to rock from right side to left side. Know that you can, just opening up through the space that the body allows. And then return to center. So now continue to look over that left shoulder and press that right hip away. All on your breath in time, you'll look back towards the top of the mat, slide that right foot directly behind you, tuck your chin towards your chest, pull that right hip forward as you dome your spine to find that length through your hip flexor. Now rock from the north or the top of the mat to the back of the mat, back and forth, using the ball of the foot as an anchor and the heel of your foot going back and forth. One more inhale here. One more exhale here. And then find stillness as you press the heel back. And your arms are no longer stacked with your shoulders, so the wrists are at an angle as you're pressing back. As you draw your next breath in, look towards the top of the mat, slide the weight of the body forward, lift and float your right leg off the ground, and then a big giant circle a few times with this right knee in one direction and then the opposite direction. Slowly release that right knee back down, wiggle your hips right side to left side. This time, roller coaster cat-cows, unless you prefer the traditional. So send the hips back, extend your arms forward so they're no longer stacked. And then inhale, bend those elbows, slide the heart forward, squeeze the ribs. Exhale, dome your spine, roll the hips back. 2 more. Inhale, lift it up. Press through your finger pads and knot the palm of your hand. Once more. And then exhale. Taking it back on your next breath in, come back to center, knees together, right toes tuck under this time, extending that left leg behind you. As that left leg goes behind you, cross it over towards your right side, squeezing your thighs, and then you can press the top of your right foot down on the mat as you look over this right shoulder. Either rock from the top of the mat to the back of the mat, or stillness, or maybe even just press this left hip further towards the left side to feel that length through your left side. It's up to you. Breathe in through the nose here. Breathe out of the nose here. One last inhale here, and then exhale to let go. As you take your next breath in, look towards the top of your mat. Slide the foot directly behind you. As you slide the foot directly behind you, anchor through the ball of your left foot, round or dome that spine up, tucking the chin towards the chest, pressing the mat away. Push or pull your left hip forward, squeeze the glute if you'd like. You might find that there's a little bit more connection. And then you can rock the foot back and forth so your left heel goes towards the back and towards the front. As you continue to look at your toes, breathe in through your nose, breathe out of your nose. Go ahead and pause, whether it's forward or back, to find a little more length. Feeling the release as you release the glute from being squeezed, if you're still squeezing it, to now feeling that length through the calf and maybe even the hamstring. As you draw your next breath in, look forward, slide the weight of the body towards the top of the mat. Now lift and float that left leg up, bend your left knee to the left side, and a few circles with your left knee in one direction and then the opposite direction. Go ahead and return the knee back down towards the mat. Wiggle those hips right side to left side. And then go ahead and sink the hips towards this back right corner. As you sink it towards this back right corner, walk both right and left hand towards this top left corner. Breathe in here. Rest your chest down as you let that breath go. And then inhale, keep the hip towards that right side. Bring your hands back towards center. Exhale, swish the hips over towards the left side. Walk both the right and the left hand towards that top right corner as you rest the hips towards the back and push this left hip towards the left edge of the room. One more inhale here. Letting that breath go. As you take your next breath in, the palms come back towards center. The hips stay towards the heels, and then inhale, you'll lift up for that tabletop position. In that tabletop position, lift your right leg up, and as you lift that right leg up, you'll bend the right knee towards the right side, and then place the back of the shin bone on top of the area closest to your kneecap. From this position, you'll gently slide the weight of the body back. And you're going to notice that the weight of your body is what gives you that trigger point or that release. The shin bone might be too much, and if it is too much, then maybe for you, you slide forward so that it's not as intense. You're welcome to cross fiber that little muscle as you go back and forth, and you'll have 3 to 4 segments. So don't worry if you're not on the spot that's tight or tender. You can find that cross fiber movement, or you can just stay there in stillness. The elbows can drop down if you need to. Or maybe for you, that's still too intense. You can always slide forward to release. One more inhale here. Find that softness as you exhale. If you feel you're constricting or pulling the shoulders up towards the ears, relax them. And then from this position, release, sliding forward, and then slide your foot maybe 2 to 3 inches down, maybe the meatier part of the calf. And then gently take the hips back once more. The weight, the sensation depends all on you. You get to dictate how much or how little. Again, stillness as you sink the hips back, or you can cross fiber. If you're able to gently stay still and draw that breath in, it may release it a little bit more. If you find yourself struggling or holding your breath and you've gone too far, take one more breath in here, and then exhale, release it. Go ahead and slide the weight of the body forward. Maybe rub your leg just a couple of times back and forth to bring back that blood flow, or even lift that left ankle off the mat. And now find a third segment. So it may be right below the meaty part before getting too close to the Achilles tendon, or it may be right at that Achilles tendon. As you slip the hips back, you might want to lift up because there's more sensation as you send the hips back. But if that, again, is too much, you can slide forward or release the forearms down on the ground instead. You can wiggle the toes, you can slide the shin bone back and forth, or you can even just slide your hips a tiny bit back and forth, almost settling the mind. Letting everything connect as you breathe in and as you breathe out. One more inhale here. And exhale that breath here. As you take your next breath in, those palms come down to the mat. Lift up slightly and then massage from the top to the bottom. So from that crease of your knee bending down to that shin bone. Down through the Achilles tendon. Once you're done, now you're going to place your right foot on top of that left foot. So the top of your right foot on the bottom of that left foot. Now you'll slip the hips back. As you slip the hips back, you might not notice anything, but for some people, they might notice it quite a bit on the bottom of the foot. So the arch, or maybe it's your plantar that's a little tight. You can send the hips side to side as you wiggle. Or if it's too intense for you, just slide the weight of the body forward. Whatever feels right. I'm just trying to release and let all those little tendons, connective tissue fibers through our trigger points to say it's okay. 2 more inhales here. And that exhale here. On your next breath in, take it nice and long, and then let it go. If you're sitting towards the heels, go ahead and walk or crawl those hands forward. Lift and float that left leg or that left ankle off the mat back and forth. And then inhale, extend that left leg behind you. Drop the ball of the foot down towards the mat and send it over towards your left side. As you send it over towards that left side, press through the blade of your left foot. Hook your right foot just gently over towards center. Rock back and forth, and as you rock back and forth, just so that you can find that sensation of the length through the inner thigh. When it feels comfortable for you, you'll exhale, slide the weight of the body back as much as your body permits, and drop those elbows down or keep those forearms planted on the mat instead. You'll breathe in through the nose, making sure you're protecting your knee joint. You'll release the chest down and maybe extend that left hand towards that left side as you release furthermore. And if it's too deep and you need to lift the hips up, lift the hips up. As you lift the hips up, you might want to find yourself sliding that right hip gently over towards the left side so that it's a little neutral and you may feel more length through the inner thighs versus if you're allowing the right hip to slide towards that right side. Breathe in through the nose here. Breathe out of the nose here if possible. Another breath in and that breath out. As you take your next inhale, press the palms into the mat, lift the chest up. If the hips are back, slide them forward, and then gently begin to crawl or walk your left foot towards your body, and then tint up your fingers, sliding them towards the right side. Cross this right leg all the way, left leg all the way over to the right side. Blades of your feet go out to the edges of the mat, and then gently release your glutes down on the back end of the mat. Knees are in line with your sternum. You're going to draw a full breath in and circle sweep those arms up towards the ceiling. And then you'll exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, the arms will reach up. And as we exhale, we'll bring both the right and the left hand towards our left hip. Once you find yourself twisted, now you can extend your fingertips behind you and your right hand can anchor on that left thigh if you'd like. Sit up nice and tall. As you sit up nice and tall, you might want to wiggle just a tiny bit. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the nose. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. As you take your next breath in, come back to center, counter twisting. The arms can reach up and we'll exhale, twist open towards that right side. As we make our way towards that right side, it's just a soft twist, nothing aggressive. Breathe in through the nose here. Breathe out of the nose here. As we take our next inhale, looking towards the top of the mat, heart is squared to the front. Roll your hips back, roll your hips forward, plant those palms down. So now you're on that left knee. Extend your right leg behind you. And as you extend that right leg behind you, step that left foot into downward facing dog. March or paddle your feet out, gaining that mobility for your body. So releasing that calf if it's still a little tight and tender. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out of the nose. As we take our next breath in, lift your heels up nice and high, roll your vertebrae forward, pause here in plank, drop down to the knees if you'd like, or stay in high plank. Pull your elbows in, and then we'll exhale, release the chest down towards the ground, whether it's on or off those knees. Slide the hands beyond the mat, tint them, or palms down to the ground, your choice. Pull your shoulders up first, then roll your shoulders back and down, tuck the elbows in towards the body, and inhale, lift up for modified cobra. Lifting up means anywhere that feels comfortable for you to from 1 inch, maybe lower to maybe 5 inches. One more breath in, strong through your back. If you feel any tightness, tension through the erectors or the areas along the spine, it may mean that you need to lengthen just a tiny more, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, release the chest down. Inhale, we'll lift it up. This time you'll look over towards the left side as you retract that right shoulder, dropping that right part of your side down on the mat, looking to the left. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. Inhale, lift it back up, switching it out. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out of the nose. And then inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll release the frame down towards the ground. Slide your hands back down to your breastbone. Inhale on the knees for that plank. And then exhale, slip the hips back for child's pose for one inhale here. And that exhale here. As you take your next breath in, lift back up, and any additional movement that your body's craving, go for it. Now we'll go ahead and bring those knees close to one another, and we'll switch out opposite sides. So when you're ready, inhale, left leg goes behind you, left knee bends out towards that left side. Bring the shin bone behind that right leg. Take your time. You can anchor the left knee down, and the left knee can be hovering, and you can send the hips to the right. It may be that your one side is a little different, and that's okay if you've got one that's tighter than the other. Only go as far back as your body permits without you holding the breath or restricting that passage of the air to enter. Use your mind, use your breath to calm down, especially if it's an owie, cross fiber if you'd like, stillness if you prefer, or any other variation that you see fit for yourself. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out of the nose. You may also notice that you might get that little numb feeling where the blood is constricted. When we slide forward, you'll bring a fresh new rush of blood through that area. Breathe in, breathe out. You're ready, slide weight of the body forward. Send that shin bone just another inch or two down for your next segment, and then slide the hips back. Being mindful where you're at. Don't go too far beyond your edge, just find the edge. Be patient with yourself. We give grace to others, so this is your opportunity to be graceful towards your own needs, your body's needs. We have plenty of time on the pavement to push ourselves. This is the place where you get to relax, or maybe release. I shouldn't say relax, release. Breathe in and out of the nose. One more breath in. And let that breath go. Then slide forward. Maybe rub that area back and forth with the shin bone, or even your hand if that's preferable. Then all on your time, find that third segment. Anywhere below the big portion of the calf muscle, down towards the Achilles tendon. Breathing in through your nose and out of your nose. Last breath here. Releasing. And then inhale, slide the weight of the body forward. And you can take that shin bone once more and rub back and forth, or even cross fiber, or just kind of give your leg a little bit of love, a little shake. And now the top of your left foot is going to go on the bottom of the right. Slide the weight of the body back. So the bony part of your foot is what actually is giving that little trigger. If that's too much or not enough, you might want to curl the toes under, something that gives you a little bit more. Or if you've got a different trick up your sleeve, then you can utilize that trick. You might find that you need to sit up instead. Some people need a little bit more sensation than others. Some are perfectly fine with just a tiny bit. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out of the nose. One more breath in. And that breath out. On your breath in, inhale, we'll slide the weight of the body forward. And once we do, release that left foot. Inhale, extend that right leg behind you. As you extend that right leg behind you, drop that ball of the foot down. You can rock back and forth to release the calf, the back of the leg. And then pause. Slide this right foot all the way over towards that right edge. Palms still stay down on the mat. Now push your body or slide your body slightly towards that right side so you're in line. Rock back and forth. Left foot slides for comfort towards the center. And then on your exhale, you can relax the hips back, opening up through your inner thighs. Palms can stay down. Hips can be slightly elevated. They may not even go all the way back down, and that's okay. You can extend and reach your right hand towards that right foot. Be mindful with the knee. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out of the nose. Take that final breath in here, letting that breath go. You're ready, palms down to the mat, the hips elevate, sliding your right foot closer towards your body. Maybe your hands slide over towards the left. You'll step this foot around and cross those legs in front of you. So right leg on front of the left, and then relax the hips down as the blades of the feet go out to the right and to the left side. Once you rise up, take a breath in, anchor through this left hip as well as the right, and then inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. And inhale, arms reach up. Bring both the right and the left palm towards this right hip. Once it feels comfortable for you, extend your right hand behind you and twist open as you let your breath go. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the nose. Another full belly breath in and that full breath out. As you take your next inhale, looking forward, the arms can reach back up and we'll counter twist towards that left side. So left hand behind you, right hand somewhere along this right leg. Another inhale here and that exhale here. On your next breath in, rotate back so that you're looking towards the front of the mat. You can rock back and forth until you're able to anchor that right knee down to the mat and extend that left leg behind you. As that left leg goes behind you, curl all 10 toes. Take that right foot to the back, tilt your hips up for downward facing dog. March or paddle your feet out, bending that right knee, straightening the left, back and forth. A full belly breath in. And that full belly breath out, pressing the heart towards the thighs, lifting the hips up a little higher. Hollow out your armpits. So you're going to imagine that you're putting on your deodorant and then you're ironing or flattening your back out, almost like you're taking the wrinkles out of a shirt. So you go back and forth so that it's flat. Take one more inhale here, letting it go. Then inhale, lift the heels, roll your body forward, plank pose, on or off your knees. Then exhale, release and lower all the way down. Elbows brush your ribs. Inhale, lift up for a little baby cobra. So keep the tops of your feet down to the mat instead of tucking those toes. So press your feet into the mat, lift your chest up as much as you can. If you feel any pinching sensation on that low spine, then lower your ribs down a little bit more and instead just lift your elbows off the ground instead and look directly down at the mat. Breathe in through the nose here. Breathe out of the nose and release your head back down. Bend both the right and the left knee, windshield wiper your legs right side to left side. You can even stack those palms so that your chin can rest on the stacked palms. As you return back to center, those legs extend, and as the legs extend, bringing those thighs close to one another, bend your right knee towards your body, top of that left foot is down on the mat, extending your right hand, grabbing the top of your right foot to stretch that quad. You may be required for yourself to grab a strap or maybe hold onto your pant leg instead, and that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and release that left ear down to the ground. As that left ear comes down to the ground, you can extend your left arm out towards that left side like a letter T or maybe even cactus, either one, whichever feels best for you. Breathe in, feeling your kneecap on this right leg, extend and reach away from your body. Try to not squeeze the glute here just for a moment. Like it naturally wants to take over, but see if you can actually release it and just feel the kneecap pull away from the body or find itself like a little string attached to it. Reach to the crown of the head. A breath in and a breath out. And then you'll release. As you release, you can bend the knee and swish the leg right side to left side. And now you'll take that right ear down, extend the extend the right hand, bring that left hand towards your body, curl that left heel, grab the top of the foot, the pant, or the strap. Soften through your glute. Only bring the heel as close to your body as it feels good. Relax the glute. One more inhale. And that exhale. Releasing, extend that left leg nice and long. Bring both hands back down to your breastbone. Press into the mat. Bend both the right and the left knee. Sway the legs if you'd like. And then extend those legs behind you. Inhale, plank onto your knees. To exhale, doming the spine for a cat pose. Through that cat pose, curl the toes, lift the knees, and then exhale, tilt those hips up for downward facing dog. March or paddle your feet out as you bend that right knee, straighten the left, back and forth. Draw a full breath in and then find stillness here in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the heels, bend those knees, look forward, walk or step your feet in between your thumbs as you exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, lift it up halfway, a flat back. Soft bend of the knees because now you'll really feel it through the hamstrings. And then exhale, release the body back down. Walk your feet as wide as you need to. Bend your knees as much as you'd like. And then grab those elbows for ragdoll. Bending the right knee and the left knee back and forth. You can rock your body from side to side if you'd like. Or if you prefer, just let your hands dangle down on the mat or even wrap around the back of your hamstring or hold onto your ankles, whatever feels right. All this is meant for you to find that release, that place where you can go to and feel that decompression in the body, where your breath is continuous, fluid, nothing's restricted. One last inhale here and exhale here. Now, releasing your hands down to the mat. You're going to walk your feet out if you need to a little further. And if you need a block, please grab it. Or if you want to sit on the edge of your couch, please do, because we're going into Yogi squat or Malasana. So go ahead and begin to bend those knees, press the thighs out to the left and to the right side, drop the hips down towards the ground. Once you release, if you need a chair, use it. Your heels might need to point in slightly more than normal, and then you'll bow the hips down. Good. There you go. If you need to leave the fingertips down, leave those fingertips down. If you want to use the hands to keep those inner thighs open and you're up a little bit more, that's fine. But feel yourself rock the pelvic frame forward. As you rock that pelvic frame forward, then release the hip points down. It's difficult. I know this is not my favorite place, but it is definitely one that's necessary. And if we can release all the area through the hip, the inner thighs, you might find some relief through the calf, the hamstring. Big inhale here. Big exhale here. One more breath in. And then exhale, fingertips down. Release when you're ready, lifting your hips up, straightening those legs. Take your feet out a little further if you'd like. Exhale, walk your hands towards that left ankle. Press your right hip towards that right side as you rub maybe the calf, or you just let your hands rest comfortably wherever you're at, or maybe even take that gaze underneath your right armpit for a little more length. Be sure you're not hyperextending this left knee nor the right. One more inhale here and exhale here. Then inhale, release. Exhale, take it over towards that right side. Send that left hip slightly over towards that left side. Bow your chest down as much as your body permits. Massage or let the body know it's okay, that you can breathe here, that it's safe, that you've provided a comfortable, suitable place for you to be. Gaze can be underneath the left armpit, or maybe for you that's not possible, and that's okay. A breath in, and that breath out, and then inhale, come back to center. So we return to center. Heel toe the feet back towards one another. Bend those knees, drop the hips low. We'll inhale, begin to rise all the way up. Circle sweep those arms out to the sides, up to the sky. That full breath in, palms kiss, exhale, hands into prayer and at our heart space. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, roll those shoulders back down. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Shine your heart. Inhale, lift it up. Then exhale, forward fold, lowering those palms down to the mat. We'll step back with our left foot and pivot that left foot for warrior two as we inhale, cartwheel and rise up. So we come into that warrior two. We're not going to be here long. Relax the shoulders back and down. Drop that back hand to the thigh. Flip that right palm up. And then inhale, reverse the warrior. Do your best not to release the bend of this right knee. Instead, sit into the pose. One inhale here. And then exhale, extended side angle. Feel your thighs come together as you extend and lift this left arm up towards the ceiling. A full breath in here and that full breath out here. On your next inhale, reverse that warrior. And then exhale, warrior two. Palms down towards the ground. Straighten that right leg. As you straighten that right leg, point all 10 toes now to face towards that left edge of your mat. Hands come behind your back. You'll interlace them or grab your elbows, a soft bend of those knees, and you'll exhale, take a wide-legged forward fold. As we take this wide-legged forward fold, you can shimmy or slide like you're Apollo Ono, going back and forth. You can lift the chest up a little higher. Just find that fluid movement if you'd like, or stay in this forward fold if you prefer. A breath in and a breath out. On your next inhale, rise up as you spin the heels in, point the toes out into goddess pose. The arms come out to the sides. We'll breathe in through our nose here. We'll let that breath go. On our next breath in, come into star. So star is like a big X. And then exhale to the back of the mat. And you can spin if you need to, no big deal. Point your left toes to the back end of your mat. I know you're not facing the top of your mat, and that's okay. Come into warrior two, facing the back end of your mat. Drop your back hand down, flip that left palm. Now inhale, reverse your warrior here. Feel yourself sink into the pose versus refrain or push away. One more inhale, and then exhale, extended side angle, forearm on your thigh, right arm extends and lifts all the way up or towards the front of the mat. Relax the shoulder away from your ear, draw breath in, nice work. Let that breath go. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And then exhale back to warrior two. From warrior two, hands to our hips. Point all 10 toes once more towards that left edge of your mat. And you'll exhale, take a final forward fold here as you bow down. Your hands can come once more behind the back or they can release down to the mat. Whatever feels most comfortable for you now. Breathe in through the nose here, breathe out of the nose. One more breath in and that breath out. On your next inhale, the palms come down to the mat. We'll lift our chest up, spider walk your way to the front of your mat. So now you're framing that front right foot. Step your right foot over towards the right edge of the mat. Both right and left palm are to the big toe side of your right foot. Release and lower your left knee down to the mat. And then find yourself comfortable here in this lizard pose as you open up your left hip flexor, and as you gently sit into this right hip. As you sit into the right hip, you may find that you want to open up the sole of the foot, and if that's the case, that's fine, but if you can keep it down, keep it down. You can also squeeze now if you'd like your left glute, and as you squeeze that left glute, imagine that you're trying to bring this right heel towards your left thigh, like you're squeezing a carpet together or scrunching something. And that might give you a little more sensation, but if it's too much, then find yourself just falling into the pose versus that active connection. Draw a breath in, let that breath go. One more breath in, let that breath go. As you take your next breath in, look towards the top of your mat. Palms are down on the mat. Begin to walk or step this right foot directly in between your right and your left thumb. So take your right hand, send it out towards that pinky toe side edge, and then half split. As you begin to straighten your right leg, you'll exhale, bow your chest down. If you prefer to walk your heel back until you're sitting your glutes on that left heel, that's fine too. Some of us find a little bit more sensation if we keep our hips up, bend our elbows, and bow our chest down. Point the toes, flex the toes, whatever's necessary for you. Then see if you can find just a little bit of stillness. Focus your breath on where you're feeling your sensation to find that portion of your brain to let go. One more inhale and exhale. Then inhale, looking forward, rebending. So if you slid back, slide back towards the top, rebend that right knee, curl the left toes, lift that left knee. Now we're going to do a little IT band stretch. So from here, place that left palm down, spin the blade of your left foot towards that left edge of your mat, and then all 10 toes now are pointing and rotating towards your right side. If this is too intense for you, just drop your hip down. That might be more than enough for you. There you go. Good. Right there. So if you want to lift the hip up, and you'll feel it a tiny bit more. You can scoop the arm up. You can scoop the hips down. Your choice, or find where you're at. So you can lift up on your inhale, lower down as you exhale, or just find where you feel that sensation. Some of you may feel it on this left leg more so than your right. So it's up to you. Where do you want to feel that sensation? Whatever you're doing, one more inhale and exhale. When you're ready, returning your toes to spin and point towards the top of your mat, placing that right palm down. Maybe lift your left wrist so that you can release that left wrist if it was really tight and tender. Step back as you exhale into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you'll inhale, roll the vertebrae forward, drop down to the knees, exhale, lower your chest down, rib squeeze. Inhale, lift up for a little cobra or even that baby cobra. Again, if your low back is tight, stay lower. When you're ready, tilt those hips up, exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up, and then exhale, step that left foot in between the right and the left hand. Release and lower your back knee down to the mat. And as you release, bring that left hand towards the big toe side. Step your foot out towards that left edge. Lizard pose once more. Bow your head down. Bring the forearms if you prefer. Squeeze that right glute. Pull that right hip forward, almost like you're squeezing or scrunching the carpet up once more. You can also bring your hand to your thigh if you prefer. The pinky side blade can anchor to the mat as you lift your big toe. I prefer to keep my big toe down. And it's just because my hips are really tight. So maybe for you, it does feel good. Relax the shoulders. Draw a breath in. Let that breath go. One more. And let it go. When you're ready, palms back down to the mat. Walk your left foot so that you prep for that half split as your fingers frame your left foot. And then straighten the left leg. Exhale, looking forward. You'll bow your chest down. Point the toes or slide the heel all the way back so that your glutes can rest on your right heel. Your choice. If you do bend those elbows, see if you can keep them in line, almost like you're on railroad tracks, instead of your railroad tracks splaying out, creating a big opening. Make them narrow. Another breath in. And that breath out. Last one. If you slid the hips all the way back on your next breath in, come back to center, returning the sole of your foot back down towards the mat. Hands anchor the foot, curling the back toe, lifting that back knee, and then spin the blade of your right foot to the right side. Turn all 10 toes towards the left edge for that IT dab. One tip or trick here is if it's too intense, step your left foot or the foot that's bent a little closer towards the back end of the mat and you can lift the hips up. You can also drop the hip down. It's up to you. Neither is incorrect. It's just where do you want to feel it? Some people can really keep their foot towards the top of the mat, and others, it's just too much. Your edge is quicker. And I actually prefer the edge to be quicker over having to really fight and work hard to find my edge. One last inhale here. And that exhale here. When you're ready, return that left hand back down to the mat. Return all 10 toes to spin towards the front of the mat. Lift your right wrist to release it. Place that right palm down, step that left foot back as you tilt your hips up for downward facing dog or that inverted V. And then inhale, roll into plank, drop the knees down, big toes together, slip your hips towards the heels as you exhale for that child's pose. Draw a full breath in here, letting that breath go. One more breath in, and then breath out. Rising up when you're ready, flipping so that you're on your bottom, working your way onto your back. Tuck those knees into your chest. As you tuck those knees into your chest, grab the blades of your feet for a little happy baby and rock side to side. Maybe even bring the soles of the feet together and take happy baby with little butterfly bound legs. A breath in and a breath out. Releasing this happy baby, those legs go directly up towards the sky. Your hands can massage the hamstrings as you drop the hip points down. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, curl them in towards your chest, soles of the feet return to the mat. Lift your hips so that you can scoop your your right and left hip towards that left side, arms, cactus or T, and then exhale a little supine twist. Keep both the right and that left shoulder blade down if possible. And if you need to anchor your left shoulder, maybe you take a blanket and wedge it if it's completely lifted off the mat. A breath in, letting it go. And then inhale, come back to center. We'll exhale, scoop the hips over to the right side, bend those knees at the angle that's best for our body. And then twist open when you're ready. You take your next breath in, work your way back to center. Soles of the feet return to the mat, square the hips. Let your knees collide towards one another and windshield wiper those legs right side to left side. As you take your next inhale, extend your arms out to the sides, letter T, and then down to the V. Extend the legs towards the top of the mat. We're here for just a brief moment as we inhale through our nose. And as we exhale, sigh that breath out. Temporarily give your body the ability to just be. No worries on your breath work, no worries about any muscle being constricted or overly relaxed. Just be naturally comfortable where you reside. If you desire to stay here a little longer, know that you can. Give yourself another 3, maybe 8 minutes to find comfort in the body, releasing, relaxing. But if you're ready to rise up, just wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, take a breath in, bringing the knees in towards the chest. You can hug yourself and then either roll over towards that right side and then rise up, or rock back and forth and then rise up. There's never any rush, regardless if you're here in person or you're viewing this recording at home at your own time. Taking a full breath in, we'll close our eyes. And as we exhale, we'll crawl our fingers towards the front and we'll bow our chest down. Thank you for joining me this Sunday morning. It is with true delight and gratitude that I thank you for being here. From my heart to yours, enjoy this sludgy, rainy day. Namaste.
It started snowing here.
It did. I wish I could have.